Okay, so last week I went to go see K-pop Demon Hunters with my daughter at the movie theater, and I have to say I liked it a lot more than I expected to. You know, what is it about a animation movie about, a K-pop band that can draw in worldwide audiences, that can interest, middle-aged guys like me who have no interest really in animation or K-pop? What is it about that? So as a writer, I originally wanted to break it down into, the beats and find out what about it worked. But honestly, the movie was pretty decent. It got my interest, and I forgot all about breaking it down as I was watching it. So I had to go back, rewatch it, and break down into some of the beats. I know a lot of people don't adhere to the beat sheets like Save the Cat or Hero's Journey, but I think it is important that we at least can reverse engineer it and break it down and find out why things work and why things are popular and why these trends that continue for thousands of years, why we write these stories the way we do. And there's certain beats that do tend to happen in a lot of successful stories. So this is my attempt to break down the beats of K-pop Demon Hunters. Okay, well, quick summary. If you're not familiar with the movie, it's about a K-pop band, three girls that fight demons, and their voices power this supernatural shield that protects our world from the demons. That's the quick summary. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. If you really aren't going to watch it, this is going to be full of spoilers. So I still recommend you go watch it. Animation is pretty good. The style that they use is great. The music is so catchy. It's still in my head a week later. It's catchy. But we're going to break down the story beats mostly. But what can a writer control? A writer might not be able to control, the songs or the animation style, but we can control the beats to some degree. So yeah, spoiler alerts ahead. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend, at least from an education standpoint, to find out why it works. It's a brisk, 96 minutes, they say. It's probably more like 90 with the credits and everything. Recommend it, but here we go with some spoilers. So first we have the opening image. That is a concert, screaming fans. It doesn't seem like much, just like a visual opener, but as we'll see later, this is where the climax of the movie is going to happen. So it's going to give that bookends, but we'll get to that later. But the opening image, we see the cheering fans, we see a stadium, we get the kind of the scope of what's about to happen maybe, and then it goes into a narrated, introduction to the rules of the world. That's over within 3 minutes. So in 3 minutes, we know the rules of the world. We get the animation style, we see what's going on, we see the stakes. Right after that, we jump to character introductions, which are done through audience members' interviews. That's a pretty good way to do it. I mean, I know a lot of recommendations say don't start with narration, don't start with this. Again, rules are meant to be broken, and these are mostly meant to be kids' movies. So a lot of times you will see narration stuff at the beginning where we get everybody caught up on the rules of the world. It takes 3 minutes. It's interesting to watch. Animation's good, music's good, and then we get right into the protagonists, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, on a plane. Within 8 minutes, there's a fight sequence. We learn their personalities. We learn the weapon of choice. We learn their food choices to a degree. We get the conflict at what the demons can do and how they have patterns on their skin. We learn a lot about the world within the first 8 minutes, and it's interesting, it's musical, it's colorful, it's funny in places. But yeah, in the first 8 minutes, we're in. Okay, by 15 minutes in, we've now seen the antagonist. We see their plan. They're going to start a boy band made of demons to get everybody's popularity, to combat the demon hunters, and then have a big concert and take everybody's souls. And so we've learned the stakes. Some of the animation's actually kind of creepy here, so we've learned now the genre, the tone. There's going to be jokes, but there is some, scary moments. There's some visually a little disturbing maybe for little kids, but you've bought into the world by this point. Like, it's going to be colorful, but there are stakes. We learned the demons, what they're going to do. We also see about 15 minutes in, I believe, that they're trying to seal this thing. They're going to do one more song, and it's going to seal the supernatural shield. And at 17 minutes in, we see Rumi is losing her voice. And then we see her alone, that she has the patterns. She is half demon, at least. And this is where we bring up the false belief. Her belief, or wound, or however you want to call it, is that she believes once this thing's sealed, it's going to fix her patterns. That she just has to hide their patterns, hide the fact that she's half a demon, until the supernatural shield around the world is complete and the demons can't get to her, and then hopefully, bam, she's cured, she's healed. But as I said, spoiler alert, this is a false belief. Is where we get into like the external and the internal needs. Externally, they need to sing this song and heal the shield around the world so the demons can't get it. Internally, she needs to come to terms with the fact that she's half demon and what that means to everyone around her. But more on that later. Okay, with the setup mostly complete now, we can begin the actual, the meat of the story. The Saja boys are now on Earth, and they have created their first song, Soda Pop. The Huntrix, the name of the Demon Hunters band, sees it, and they immediately reveal right away that they know that they're demons. They gotta stop them. Normally, this is where the debate or the failure to call to adventure, they usually turn it down the first time. I don't really see that in this movie. You can correct me if I'm wrong if you've seen it. They basically see their demons, and then Zoe says, well, maybe they're nice demons. They seem to not be hurting anybody. And they say there is no nice demons. They all need to be destroyed. Which, as even early on you're seeing Rumi, she's half demon, but she's keeping it to herself. So that might be the refusal to the call of adventure or whatever, but I don't really see one strong one here. They don't debate it very long, and that's what it's usually called, the debate. But they realize they need to stop the Saja boys. So within a few minutes, we're now 30 minutes in, and they're already trying to kill the Saja boys. So it's moving right along. This is the break into Act 2, essentially. They are fighting the Saja boys. They're fighting them after an appearance on a TV show. They're fighting, and Rumi's sleeve tears, and he sees that she's part demon. And they're about to see, the other friends, the other Huntrix are about to see that she's half demon, and they're going to see the patterns on her. He's a kind of like, maybe I can use this to my advantage. So he ties a thing around her sleeve and disappears and protects her for some reason. I think this is the beginning of the B story. So now there's a special hidden relationship between Jinu and Rumi. He knows something about her she doesn't want anybody else to know. But she also knows that he knows, and why didn't he try to kill her? Why didn't he let her show it to the friends? Because surely that would have broke up the band at some point. So I think this is the beginning of the B story. Normally it would be a love story or a love interest. There is a little bit of that hinted, definitely, but it's more about like, why did he save me? And he feels the need to protect me, but at the same time now she feels the need to protect him a little bit, because there's something more than just being a demon. So I think that is the B story. That brings us to the fun and game section, which I think is a little bit abbreviated in this, maybe just due to the swiftness of the story. It's probably about 12 minutes. They're trying to write a new song. That their plan now is to write the song, stay as the top K-pop band, have their fans and everybody sing the song when they write it so that they can seal the supernatural thing. Rumi still can't sing it, so they're tweaking it, they're trying to change it. They eventually come up with something called a takedown, which is kind of a really harsh indictment of the demons. I mean, it may be rightfully so, but as you'll see, like, it's almost like they're giving into their anger a little bit more than positivity. I mean, their previous song was Golden, and it was about how everybody's moving up and, you know, how we're golden. And now the next one's about takedown, like breaking people down, killing them, you know, things come out of their veins and all this. Like, it's pretty harsh sounding. I remember the first time I heard it before I watched the movie, I'm like, dang, that's a big shift in tone there. But there's a reason for it, there's context for it. But eventually, so they're trying to write the song, it's not working, it's not really their style. And then the midpoint where they start communicating, Jinu and Rumi are communicating now, and she's hiding it from her other bandmates, from Mira and them. Mira actually comes into the room while she has a message with Derpy, the big blue cat that is apparently a messenger between the demons and the real world. And Derpy sees the lyrics of Breakdown, or Takedown. I've been using them interchangeably at this point. But he sees the lyrics of Takedown in the trash can where she's trying to hide it. I believe, and I could be wrong, I've only seen it twice now, but I believe Derpy takes these lyrics back to the demons, and I think this is the midpoint. They now have the advantage. Not only do they know the song, but they're going to use it against her. Okay, now we're up to the bad guys close in, and I think this one's pretty, I won't call it obvious, but where we start seeing them taking souls. I mean, we saw them take a soul in the bathhouse, I think, early on, but then they're getting fans, they're getting other people now. The Saja boys are rising in popularity. There's more friction in the band, as they can tell Rumi's hiding something. They're falling in the charts, and Saja boys are taking over, and they can feel like something's got to give, something bad's happening. And that's when they meet at the Idol Awards. This is where they're supposed to reveal their big song. They're supposed to come out and, you know, basically whoop the Saja boys, but it doesn't go that way. The Saja boys end up separating the band members and then creating images or voices as if it was Mira and Zoe, but it's actually demons basically singing Takedown to Rumi, playing against all her insecurities about being a demon, literally using her own words against her. So they're using her own insecurities and what she wants to hide, and it's basically revealed in front of all the fans, in front of the other band members, and you know, it's basically her worst fear come true. And the fact that she hid it for so long, even now her bandmates don't trust her. They even pull weapons on her, like, if you're gonna stay, we've gotta kill you, you're a demon. And yeah, basically she runs away and all is lost. Even the band members are about to give up. They fall under the demon spell a bit. They start going into, they're gonna watch the concert. Saja boys are gonna throw their Your Idol song out there, and that's gonna be their big way of taking everybody's souls in the audience, and everybody's under their spell, and all is lost essentially. Like, at this point it looks like they failed. She's failed to hide that she's a demon. They failed to close the shield around the world, and the Saja boys' plan is working to a T at this point. And then Rumi visits her like stepmother or surrogate mother, Celine, who's the one that initially protected them when they were little and told them what their destinies were to be. She's kind of I would call her almost a mentor character, but it's kind of a reverse mentor. She's the reason that they have this belief that they need to protect themselves. And when they were children, that was probably true. But towards the end, you know, now Rumi's beginning to doubt that. Like, you hid me from the world, you couldn't accept me, all of me, for what I was. And Celine's like, no, we did it for your safety, you know, this is how it had to be. There's still time, you can hide it, we can make up for, you know, we can make up an excuse why you look this way, go up and get, you know, the other demon hunters on your side again. We'll just cover it up some more with another lie. And at this point, Rumi's like physically half demon. You can see it in her eyes, you can see it in her half of her body. She's basically turning into a demon. And at that point, she's like, you know, why couldn't you love me, all of me? And no more, I think her quote was, no more hiding, no more lies. Now, this is in direct contrast to her false belief from the beginning, was that she had to hide this until a certain time. Well, that time never was going to come now. And so now she's learned the lesson. But looking at her, she's like, if this is the system that I've been supporting, maybe it needs to go away. And it's like, whoa, okay. So even at that point, you're still not 100% sure is she now going to become full demon? Is she now like, I did it your way, it didn't work, you know, I'm with them now kind of thing? You assume that that's not true, but looking at the visuals, and she's literally half and half demon. She yells, and like you can see it weakening the supernatural shield around the world. But this is where she's learned the lesson, and no more hiding. Like, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna die, whatever it's gonna be. I'm gonna win, I'm gonna fail, but I'm gonna do it honestly. I'm gonna do it as me, the real me, not as, you know, hiding and pretending I'm not half a demon. And that's where we get into the break to Act 3, when she goes back to the stadium alone. The Saja boys are mid-song. They're about to take everybody's souls, you know, thousands of souls, including Zoe and Mira, apparently. They're entranced in this moment. And they're doing their Your Idol. Again, great song, kind of creepy if you really listen to it, watch some of the visuals, especially the part where they're on the stage. And never mind, you'll see it if you watch it. But she just starts singing, and it's not a song about taking anybody down. It's a song about being honest with yourself, and this is what it sounds like. This is her voice. This is the first time she's truly spoken as herself, not hiding anything. And it's literally stated in the lyrics. Like, when you hear the song, you're like, oh, this must be a metaphor. Not really when you watch the movie. It's actually pretty literal. And Zoe and Mira are in the audience. That kind of breaks their spell a little bit. They see her friend coming back, willing to fight, even though she's, you know, half demon, and that she's, you know, understands her mistakes and what she did wrong, and that she's going to face the, you know, the consequences of her action. I'm going to take a quick side step on this, because I saw on a video, there was a guy speaking a long time ago about how each act of a movie, if you break down the second act into two pieces, you know, 2A, 2B. In the beginning, they're kind of an orphan, whether metaphorically or physically. And in a lot of movies, it's actually, you know, literally. Star Wars, even Rumi, like they're orphans. In the second one, they become wanderers, where they like try to find the answer, find the purpose. This is the fun and games area where they're becoming themselves. Superhero movies where they're learning their new skills. This is they're wanderer. They're learning their new world. Act 2B, they become fighters, and this is where usually the villains have amped it up. They realize they got to do something. They're fighting it. But in Act 3, or in the fourth, you know, break of this, I don't know if you adhere to this, but in the fourth section, the last quarter of the movie, Act 3, they become martyrs. And a lot of times it's physical death. The heroes either die and come back to life, like the Matrix, or they are so close to death that, you know, usually they're underwater, or, you know, someone near them dies. There's usually an actual insinuation of death, either physically or, you know, metaphorically. And in this one, she's willing to go back and face the consequences of her actions, even if that means dying. And in this way, she's become the martyr. But by her willing to sacrifice, Zoe and Mira join her, and this is the gathering of the team, which is a big part of a lot of movies in Act 3. The next section, now they've gathered the team. It's storming the castle is what they call it, and they literally storm the stage. They rush the stage. They're killing demons. Like they're together again, and this is how they win, right? Then we get what they call the high tower surprise. And that's where the villain throws something at them that they didn't expect. And in this case, it's not just Genu, Abby, Baby, romance and mystery, and the other, you know, little demons. The big one, Guima, I believe his name is. Guima is there. He's huge. One person can't defeat him. And they've managed to separate, again, Zoe, Mira, and Rumi, and he's just focused on Rumi, and he's going to defeat her. He's going to kill her. So their plan, even though their unity and they're honest, isn't going to work, is it? But then you dig down deeper. In a lot of movies, this is where something that was in the past that was foreshadowed or just mentioned becomes a big thing, and they end up switching their plans. They come up with something new, and they defeat the enemy. In this one, it's actually Genu, who, watching Rumi's transition from hiding it and being honest and having faith in him as a demon, he's actually like, I can't let her die the way I let my family die. You know, that was in the story from the beginning. He let his family die in poverty while he lived in a kingdom, and that's how he became the demon. But he couldn't watch it happen again, essentially, because she changed. It gave him the power to change, and that becomes the dig down deep, in my opinion. Again, if somebody has different opinions on this breakdown, I'd love to hear them, but that's mine. It looks like they're going to lose, and being a martyr wasn't enough. Being honest wasn't enough. But that transition of accepting change and facing up to your consequence, the consequences of your actions, Genu then does the same, and he steps in front of Guima and takes the brunt of it, gives her his soul, essentially, which then gives her the power to defeat Guima, which leads to the executing the new plan, where they're powerful now, and she kills Guima. They kill the rest of the demons. Genu, we're not 100% sure. It's implied that he's dead, but that he's at peace now. If there's a sequel, and there will be, I have a feeling we'll see him again somehow. But for the time being, all the demons are gone. She's still got her patterns, but through singing the song, defeating the demons, the shield is, created, and we get to the final image. And the final image, essentially, even though it's not the physically final image of the movie, they are at the stage with fans cheering, their names and all, and their pictures on the board, which is actually the opening image. So it gives a bookends to the whole movie. Now there is a denouement or whatever at the end, an epilogue, where they do finally go to the bathhouse, which was one of the things they kept telling Rumi, you need to go to the bathhouse. She didn't go to the bathhouse because she would have had to show her patterns. So now she's not ashamed of her patterns anymore. They accept her because they know the patterns don't mean you're evil. It just means that you have demon heritage that you can't control. And at the very final shot, if we want to get specific, we see Derpy and the messenger bird with the multiple eyes. They're there. So I don't know if that's an insinuation that they're, it's not completely resolved yet. The way it's shot, it reminds me of more like they were neutral, and they're also animals. So I don't think kids are going to want to see the animals, suffer. Even they can go back to the underworld. No, I think they're more of a messenger, more neutral. And I think the fact that they stayed in the real world after the shield's fixed means that they're probably going to be good. That they're probably K-pop demon hunter. They're going to become kind of like their pets or whatever. But that's never stated. But that's the final image. And then that's it. That's K-pop Demon Hunters from start to finish. It's about 90 minutes, which is great. If you want to just sit down and watch a movie and just pick it apart and find out what works. The song's catchy. The music is really good. And an hour and a half flies by. But it also makes it really easy to break it down into acts if you're into that sort of thing. 90 minutes, that's 30 minutes for the act 1, 30 minutes act 2, 30 minutes act 3. And if you break it down like I did, it's almost exact. I would argue that it probably is exact when you take out credits and stuff like that. Okay, so that is my takedown of K-pop Demon Hunters and trying to force it into a beat sheet. It does seem to work given the most accepted forms of beat sheets. Again, you don't have to abide by that. Write your story the way you want to write it, but know that there are patterns. There's things that people do to make their stories have quality pacing and feel like a story that we've grown accustomed to hearing. That doesn't mean you can't change it or do something different, or that you got to have every single beat. I believe if I compare this to Hero's Journey, I believe there is some beats that are actually missing, but these are the beats that I saw. I'd love to hear other opinions on this. I would like to do other movies like this. So if you're interested, give me a like and let me know that this is the kind of content you want to do. I enjoy breaking these things down, but like I said, when you're watching a really good movie, like when I go to the movies or I put in a DVD, a lot of times, even when I'm sitting down to break it down, I don't, because the movie sucks you in. And that's kind of my barometer now, I think, for what's a good movie. It was when I sit down to watch it for a first or even a second time and I try to break it down into beats or see what worked and what didn't work, you just get sucked in. And that's a good movie. If I can sit down and mechanically 30 minutes this happens, 45 minutes this happens, 50 minutes this happens, I'm not invested in the movie. And that did happen with a movie I sat down to break down once, and maybe I'll do that at a different time. Maybe I'll show a not a good movie and see how that works. But anyway, before I go off on that tangent, so I highly recommend the movie. If you've already seen it once, maybe watch it again, see if you agree with these beats. Maybe you see something that I didn't see. That's it. Have a golden day.